Future Palace are a German three-piece metalcore band, and they've been recently touring across the UK. I was able to catch their gig in London at the Garage. Also playing that night was Our Promise and Seven Blood, also German metalcore bands. So before I get to the Future Palace set later on, I'll just break down what I thought of the opening acts there. Seven Blood were the first band on of the night, and I was fairly impressed with them. Their performance was very solid overall. The musicianship was very good. The sound overall was excellent for them. The vocals were fantastic. She has a really strong, very good pitch vocals. The only thing for me was that as lovely as the overall sound was, it missed for me great choruses. The choruses would happen, and one or two of them, I think, stumbled across some really great melodies that kind of hooked into you. But mostly, there was some element there kind of missing. I don't really know what that was. Maybe they just need to write more and more songs and eventually find their own thing. It is a little bit similar to a lot of bands in the scene doing similar metalcore things. And so I think you need something really grabby. But again, they did a great job of the songs that they had. They performed well, and it went across pretty well in the room. Solid performance overall by Seven Blood. Ones to watch in future, perhaps, I think. After them was Our Promise, a band who I had heard 2 songs of before, and I enjoyed them. Very solid, another metalcore band. They barely fit on this stage because there were 6 of them. They got 2 vocalists. I mean, that is like cheating. They got 2 vocalists, both with great scream vocals? How dare you? That is unfair. But one of the vocalists also has some amazing clean vocals as well. They were a force to be reckoned with. I think they were the most visually energetic, compelling band of the night. I mean, sure, there's 6 people to look at, that's visually very entertaining anyway, but they really went for it. They had so much confidence and firepower during the songs, but seemed kind of sweet and endearing and authentic in between them as well. The songs carried across so well. They had lots of moshing and jumping around from the crowd. They had hooks. It was, an exciting prospect. It reminded me a little bit of the band Caskets, although I preferred Our Promise to Caskets as an example. There's a great quality overall, well delivered, and also reminded me a little bit of Polaris as well, and some of the delivery within the songs, and also the performance there too. And they, did an excellent job. It all went over very well with the crowd, injected even more energy, which you'd hope the second band would do, like amping us up to the headliner. A fantastic job overall. Our Promise, I think, would maybe for me the surprising highlight of the night. I say surprising highlight, there were a couple of good highlights in the Future Palace set. They overall, as well, did a solid job. There's something very impressive about the fact that the vocalist had a cold, as she said, and yet was pitch perfect throughout and managed to find some power within that. She just probably would have had to work harder internally to deliver the performance that she was hoping to. So well done to her for powering through all of that and delivering a very, very strong vocal performance overall in the screams as well as the cleans. It was her vocals were fantastic. She, I think, was the shining star of their set in particular. The drummer was excellent. For my ear, and this is a minor detail, but the drums almost seemed like they were slightly, minusculely lagging behind the beat. I suspect they've got triggers set up so that when he hits, then it triggers an audio sample sound, which is a choice to ensure that you've got really punchy drums no matter what the PA system is like in the room. You can have a consistency of sound there. But it does potentially introduce a slight lag, which I was perceiving throughout their set, which is unfortunate. As a drummer, I'm more focused in and locked in on the rhythm. So that was a shame. That just slightly took me out a little bit of what was otherwise a great drum performance. So hopefully in future, either they can reduce some of that lag or find another way to have the drums. Or I don't know what happened there. That was my interpretation. That was my perception, rather, of that sound. Guitarist was fantastic. I mean, there's one guitarist trying to hold down a lot of the riffs. There is a backing track that does other bits and pieces, right? There's going to be bass lines. There's no bassist. So sound was decent overall. The songs were very consistent throughout. Solid songs for the most part. Couple of delicious moments that I've enjoyed from songs I've heard before. And when they lead into things that are a little bit different, dynamically more interesting than what can otherwise be very typical metalcore songs, that's when I think it really lands. There were a couple of really lovely moments in the set when the vocalist Maria took time to talk to the crowd about her own experience, what she's been going through, talking about the cold that she had earlier, but also talking about struggles with depression and anxiety, and giving you a bit of insight into the meaning behind some of the songs and the purpose that this band is kind of combined on, and giving some really hopeful messages to the crowd and, you know, stirring up emotions in that way. Those were wonderful, endearing moments. Also, they had a surprise acoustic song. I really didn't expect it, and it was lovely. It was beautifully done. And again, despite her cold, Maria did a phenomenal job vocally. And because of the nature of it being one guitar and vocals, you were able to really hear the quality of her voice through that song. So that was delightful. There was also a surprising cool moment when the singer from As Everything Unfolds appeared on stage suddenly to do a duet on one of the Future Palace songs. I love seeing bands collaborate live on stage. There's something very cool about that, you know? And it went great. I think that both of them had excellent vocals. They worked well together. And again, visually very entertaining, but sonically very well executed. That was a really cool moment. I enjoyed that a lot. And then they power through the last few songs with, you know, their biggest bangers to close the set there. Really solid performance overall, solid set. I think not dissimilar from the world of Seven Blood. The moments that Future Palace can shine are when they do something that's a little bit different from the expected. I think a lot of the songs are a little bit similar to each other, but the performance was fantastic. It was captivating visually, technically very good. It was a decent show overall, from all of them, really. German metalcore is in a solid spot with that tour in particular. So, well done to Future Palace, Seven Blood, and Our Promise. A delightful way to have spent an evening in London with some excellent live music.